Coming up on the April 6th edition of Carolina Week.
The Heels are the national champions of men's basketball.
We'll take you back to the celebrations as thousands flock to the Dean Dome to watch the Heels take care of business.
And then it was on to Franklin Street, where 45,000 fans partied late into the night.
UNC! UNC!
Plus, we have all the highlights you can't stop watching, as well as the stories from the road, as many students flock to St. Louis.
We'll have all of the championship details, plus your 4-day forecast.
Those stories and much more. Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Joe Mott.
And I'm Lydia Garlickhoff. Well, it's been quite a ride. The university and town are still buzzing about Carolina's big win in the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship game.
We have team coverage of all the festivities and hoopla. Let's get right to sports anchor Ann Sexton. Ann?
Well, Joe, we know St. Louis is famous for the Blues, but move over B.B. King. This week it's all about Carolina Blue. Illinois might have won the tip, but, you know, it was UNC who started hot. Birthday boy Sean May started the party with a quick 2, and Rashad McCants followed with a 3, giving the Carolina faithful reason to cheer. Illinois was unable to match the Tar Heels offensively as UNC utilized its fast break abilities, and the Illini continued to miss shot after shot after shot. But then freshman Marvin Williams, he decided to join in the fun with an alley-oop of his own. The Heels took the lead 40-27 at the half. Coming out of the locker room, the Tar Heels had victory on their minds. Sean May continued to dominate offensively while Felton and company continued to rain threes downtown. But the other bench was dealt a blow when starting center James Augustine muscled his way out of the game with 7 minutes left on the clock. Even without Augustine, Illinois came back to tie the game at 65 with 5.5 minutes left. But a Raymond Felton steal and some clutch free throw shooting in the final minutes sealed the Tar Heel victory and the first national championship for Coach Roy Williams.
These guys right here, I can't say too much about them. I'm speechless. I usually talk my rear end off, but right now I'm speechless.
From 8 and 23 years ago to cutting down the nets in 2005, Carolina basketball is back where it belongs, on top. Well, it's Carolina's 4th national title, and the Tar Heel faithful hope Roy Williams will bring home another one sometime soon.
Thanks, Sam. Well, if your name isn't Rashad, Raymond, or Marvin, the biggest question for you on Monday night was, where am I going to watch the big game? Reporter
Brian Allen takes us inside the Dean Smith Center to see how nearly 10,000 fans enjoy the battle for the title.
They came early.
I've been here since about 4:30. My friend got here at about 2:30 though.
And they came in numbers. The Tar Heel faithful poured into the Dean Dome Monday night to watch the national championship game against Illinois. Inside, they found a 15 by 20 foot screen, the band, and almost 10,000 of their closest friends.
Even though the game's on here, everybody here is awesome. Everybody I've talked to, everybody I've met.
Although they were hundreds of miles away from the game in St. Louis, the fans in Chapel Hill did their part to help out the Heels.
I bring a keychain with me to every game because it's good luck. Every time I've had it, they won.
It's my lucky shirt from 1993. Last time Carolina won it, and this is going to bring them luck to win it again.
As soon as the game was decided, fans stormed the court as the crowd erupted into celebration. Even though at least one fan couldn't remember who Carolina had just played.
Take that, dude! Take that, blue ball! Where's J.J. Redick? Where's J.J. Redick? Guess what?
They all had one common destination, Franklin Street. From the Dean Dome, I'm Brian Allen, Carolina Week.
And well, it sure didn't take those Heels fans long to get where they were going.
And when they arrived on Franklin Street, they joined thousands of other crazed Carolina fanatics.
Our own Lauren Cox was there and is in the newsroom with more. Lauren?
Guys, I think there were more people there than live in Chapel Hill. Fans came from everywhere to celebrate the win in the national title game.
After the 75-70 win against Illinois, some 45,000 screaming fans rushed to Franklin to celebrate. From eyes to shoes,
Go Heels!
The streets seemed to move like a massive sea of Carolina blue. Tar Heel fans cheered, chanted, and danced to celebrate UNC's 4th national title. People started 32 bonfires in the streets. Firefighters wanted fans to safely enjoy the victory flames.
I'm thrilled, I'm excited, we're having a good time.
While some fans showed their love for the players,
And I am in love with David Noel. Will you marry me, David, please?
others professed their love for Roy Williams.
If he would let me, I would make him his favorite pie and his favorite cake, and I would give him a foot massage.
Showing off a pair of jeans signed by Dean Smith, 1993 alumnus Fletch Good said Coach Williams was continuing the legacy.
Roy's first of many! First of many!
Carolina's team rides high on the shoulders of giants and has provided some very broad shoulders for future Tar Heels to stand on.
It was a crazy crowd, but according to police, relatively well behaved. Lydia?
Lauren Cox back from Franklin Street in one piece. Thanks, Lauren.
A hero's welcome must feel great. Not many of us get to experience that in life, but the men's team did in a big way on Tuesday. Carolina Week reporter RJ Weber was at the Dean Dome for the huge welcome home celebration.
There were the same old familiar chants. And some you might never have heard before. But all that cheering was generated by the same exciting realization.
Fellas, it's hard to believe, but we are the national champions in 2000.
More than 15,000 fans packed the Smith Center Tuesday afternoon to welcome home the Tar Heel basketball team from its march to glory in St. Louis. UNC students danced around a championship trophy replica, and Little Tar Heels even made signs to show their love.
It's been a long journey, it really has. But one thing I can say is we're back. We're number one.
Introduced by longtime voice of the Tar Heels, Woody Durham, all of the players offered their thoughts and said their thank yous. Tar Heel fans gave thanks next to the players leaving Carolina after 4 long years. Center Sean May got the crowd going again, announcing not only that he'll return next season, but
along with that, we're trying to get some of these other guys to come back with me.
And that gives Tar Heel fans hope that they'll be celebrating again next year. In Chapel Hill, I'm RJ Weber, Carolina Week.
Now that the celebrations are over, the big question becomes, can the Heels repeat?
Well, Sean May coming back would be a huge factor, but how many others from the star-studded team are going to make the jump to the pros? And what about the incoming recruiting class?
We'll go back to Ann Sexton for those answers. Ann?
Well, Joe, the Tar Heels could lose potentially 7 players from this year's national championship team. Sean May said he hopes to come back, but that's where the good news ends. Junior forward Rashad McCants has all but declared for the NBA draft, saying he's probably going to leave Carolina's newly minted dynasty. Well, it seems that also point guard junior Raymond Felton will also likely join McCants in the NBA. He's always maintained he'd make the jump if he was a lottery pick, and quite frankly, his stock has never been higher. And as for freshman phenom Marvin Williams, he wants to come back and thrill the Smith Center crowd again. But the NBA's new collective bargaining agreement, which starting next year would bar players younger than 20, might prompt him to leave UNC after just 1 season. Don't worry too much, Tar Heel fans. Roy Williams has a talented class coming in, highlighted by top 10 prospect forward Tyler Hansbrough. Rounding out the class are guards Bobby Frazier and Marcus Ginnard, and forward Danny Green, who finished second in the McDonald's All-American three-point contest.
So can the Heels repeat? That's a definite maybe. And live in the studio. Thanks again.
Well, students don't need paint to turn Chapel Hill blue after Monday night's NCAA win. Instead, they're lining up to score Carolina Blue Championship t-shirts. Johnny T-shirt managers ordered some of those shirts like these weeks ago in anticipation of the big game. Manufacturers printed these pre-designed logos as soon as the game ended and delivered stacks of shirts early Tuesday morning. The tees are going fast, but don't worry, the store is expecting new shipments on Wednesday and Thursday.
I know it's going to be crazy. We did this in '93, so we're experienced. So we knew it was coming. And it's scary, but it's fun, and we just do our best, you know, try to handle what we can.
You can grab a 2005 championship design at any athletic wear store on Franklin Street or in student stores.
Wednesday was back to business as usual for some.
That's right. Well, when Carolina Week returns, students on the quad are tackling controversy.
Are your kids getting enough art? Whether through poetry, dance, music, or drama, the arts open the doors to creativity. As a mother and teacher, I know that arts education can help our children develop confidence and a better understanding of the world around them. Even if you have just 30 minutes a week, get your kids more involved in the arts and think about the kind of world we can leave behind for our children and our children's children.
Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Okay, guys, time for takeoff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Wow! Whoa, look at that! Is that Jupiter?
Hey kids, it's time to go to the planetarium.
Moorhead Planetarium, where dreams become reality.
One night after the men's basketball team became national champions, another group of Carolina students earned new titles as well. UNC's student government hosted the inauguration of the 2005-2006 slate of officers. Members of Student Congress, as well as the newly elected members of the executive and judicial branches, were sworn in Tuesday night in the Great Hall. Student body president Seth Dearman sported a bit of that Tar Heel spirit to celebrate Carolina's victory and says he and his staff are ready to get started.
We're definitely ready to hit the ground running. Everybody is getting moved into their offices, and people are excited about the year. I don't think we're going to have any trouble. We're just excited about implementing the platform that we ran on.
Dearman and his VP, Adrian Johnston, begin their work by selecting their cabinet. Applications will be available until April 15th. Well, after almost 8 years as president of the UNC system, Molly Broad is retiring at the end of the 2005-2006 school year. Broad announced her decision to the UNC Board of Governors on Wednesday, but she won't be leaving Chapel Hill completely. She recently joined the faculty of the School of Government.
Legislators are working to make sure anyone who leaves the scene of an accident is held accountable. Members of the House already voted to accept the Stevens Law, which is now pending a decision from the Senate. The bill is as a result of the hit-and-run incident that killed Tar Heel sports reporter Stephen Gates in 2003. The law would hold all parties involved in a car accident accountable. Stevens Law requires that a person who was the driver of or a passenger in a motor vehicle involved in the accident who leaves the scene prior to completion of the investigation shall be guilty of a Class H felony. If the Senate approves the legislation, the bill will go into effect December 1st, 2005.
Monday night's big win has drawn crowds of people to Carolina's campus. Wednesday afternoon, crowds gathered to voice their opinions about a more serious issue. Elizabeth Crumpler has more. Viewers, we must warn you, some of the images you are about to see are quite graphic.
Pro-life students united Wednesday to make a powerful statement against abortion, sparking debate among students across campus. Billboards compared genocide throughout the world with abortion in America. Fletcher Armstrong helps bring these images to campus each year.
We want to put abortion back on the table as far as an issue that we discuss.
Pro-life students handed out flyers about their position, but let the pictures do most of the talking. But pro-choice activists wanted to make sure that their voices were heard.
Come to the protest tomorrow. Turn your back on this project.
Members of Pro-Choice USA are organizing a silent march Thursday to protest the pro-life demonstration. They say they believe genocide and abortion can't be compared.
All of us kind of believe that if you looked up genocide in the dictionary, you're not going to find that abortion is described. We feel like the name and the crisis of genocide is being misrepresented and misused.
Whether students agree with the images or not, they do agree about one thing. They are now thinking about the issue.
I just think it's absolutely powerful. Like, I don't think I'm ever going to forget that I saw, an arm and a leg and an 8-week-old baby today.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Crumpler, Carolina Week.
The campus group Carolina Students for Life spent more than $5,000 to bring the exhibit to campus.
Vatican officials have announced their plans to bury Pope John Paul II. The pontiff will be buried on Friday in a grotto beneath St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. Officials say that between 15 and 18,000 people per hour are filing past the Pope's body. More than 1 million mourners have already paid tribute since his death on Saturday. You can see the line is miles long, taking some up to 12 hours to reach the late pontiff. About 2 leaders from around the world are expected to attend the Pope's Friday burial, including President Bush.
New staff and more expansive plans to push adoptions are causing costs to soar at the Orange County Animal Shelter. The county took over the Airport Road Animal Shelter less than a year ago. Under new leadership, the staff is spending less time cleaning and more time caring for lost animals. The shelter now offers more health screenings such as leukemia and heartworm tests for both cats and dogs, which means a bigger budget. Shelter Director Joe Pulcinella says the shelter is over budget in part because of costs such as restocking the shelter once Orange County took over.
When they went into it, they knew that the budget was probably going to need to be tweaked. So I think that they were figuring on additional revenues or changes in the budget as we went along.
Shelter officials say the budgetary problems are temporary. Well, we often hear about the number of troops killed in Iraq.
But reporter Natasha Vukovic got a first-hand look at what we don't see or hear about every day, the lives affected by the deaths of our troops.
Ready. Hey. Fire.
Camp Lejeune recently held a memorial for 15 Marines who lost their lives while serving in Iraq.
Our hearts are heavy as we confront the fact that 15 of our own have been taken from us.
Corporal Jonathan Beatty was 22 years old when he died. His sister Heather says he was her best friend.
He's going to be deeply, deeply missed because he's touched so many people's lives. So many people.
Corporal Beatty's mother described her emotions in a letter. She wrote, "Children are like very rare, precious jewels, and on the 27th of January, I lost one of my precious stones in life. For my family and I, we know in our hearts that our love for Jonathan will never die, and that we will one day see him again, just as God has promised." These are the boots, rifles, and helmets of the Marines who were killed in Iraq defending their country. The only thing missing are the dog tags, which hung right here. The families took them in remembrance of their loved ones. Sergeant Benjamin Ettinger was another one of the Marines honored. Mazzero says Ettinger could lighten up any situation.
They needed him to get some brooms to clean up, and he just heard it and just left. And he thought they said bruise. So he left, and he's gone for a long time. He came back with beers for everybody.
The memorial brought out memories, tears, and laughter. As Corporal Beatty's mother wrote, "Sometimes the best and most beautiful things in the world can't be seen or touched. We have to feel them with our hearts." At Camp Lejeune, I'm Natasha Vukovic, Carolina Week.
To date, more than 1,500 soldiers have died since fighting began in Iraq.
That's a very emotional piece. Well, on a lighter note, Rob Ellis joins us now for some weather.
The great weather definitely complemented the win, but how long is it going to stick around?
Well, we might have some showers coming up, but for now, students are soaking up the rays, and as you can see here, they're enjoying it out on the campus of UNC, and I'll have your 4-day forecast when Carolina Week continues.
Throughout my career as a coach, I've lived by the simple axiom that behind every individual success story is a team. The success of Durham Public Schools does not depend on one of us, but all of us. Through community involvement and support, we can take a giant step in helping our children achieve their hopes and dreams. You're going to walk with me, and I'm going to help you to be that great soccer player.
Good job.
Look, it's a giraffe.
I don't see it.
The less art kids get, the more it shows. Are yours getting enough? Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Well, welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weathercaster Rob Ellis. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather headlines. We've seen some beautiful conditions at the beginning of this week, but we do have April showers on the way. That's right, April is here and spring is here, so we are going to have that chance for some showers. But after these move through, we'll see some cooling off, and with that cooling off, we will be clearing out. Let's take a look at the big picture and take a look at the satellite map. Here you can see over much of North Carolina right now we are clear. We do have some high cirrus clouds overhead, but that hasn't kept those temperatures down. We've actually seen temperatures in the 80s on Wednesday. And here, if we look to the west, we can see that this system behind us is going to be impacting our weather as we move through the weekend. This is a very strong cold front that's moving through, and as it pushes through, it's actually been triggering some thunderstorms in Birmingham, Alabama, and just to the southwest of Birmingham, and they have lots of tornado watches and warnings, and that will be moving this way, though we don't think it will be as severe. If we look at the surface map, I'll show you exactly what's going to happen. Here's a low pressure system with the cold front draped to the south, and as this begins to push through on Thursday and into Friday, it will bring us the chance for some showers and thunderstorms. We're going to have southerly winds. That's going to bring us some moisture and some warm air, makes it very unstable. So the very beginning part of your weekend, we have the chance for some thunderstorms. But after this pushes through, we do think that it will clear out, and I can actually show you that in the 4-day forecast. Take a look for Friday. We do have that chance of showers and thunderstorms, high of 71, so not too terribly bad, kind of mild. Overnight, 50 degrees. As we move through Saturday, it does clear out and the sun peeks through. We may have some lingering cloudiness as we move through the day on Saturday, but slightly cooler after that cold front, 66 degrees. Low overnight, 47, but as we move into Sunday, look at that beautiful sunshine. High of 70 degrees, so it will warm up. Low overnight, 45, and as we begin the first part of your work or school week, 72 degrees, and that sun is going to continue. Now here at Carolina Week, we cover from the mountains to the sea, so let's start at the beach and see what's happening down there. We do have a slight chance of thunderstorms on Saturday as that system continues to move through, and we'll have the trailing edge of that on Saturday at the beach. Saturday, high of 65, low overnight, 48. Sunday, it's going to warm up a little bit, 73 for your high, overnight low, 50 degrees. And again, back out to the mountains. I said we'll cover to the mountains to the sea. Here's the mountain forecast. It will clear out a little bit earlier there, but temperatures cool as we would expect. 60 degrees for your high on Saturday, overnight low, 41. Overnight low, and here's your cloudy conditions, just a few lingering clouds and sunshine on Sunday, high of 65 and low of 45. And I wanted to take a look at what we can expect for April as we are in April now. Looking at our climatological normals, I mentioned April showers earlier. Well, it's a little bit of a misnomer because our April rainfall is actually 2.80 inches, which is actually our driest month. So our high temperature is 72 normally, our low temperature 46, and believe it or not, April is actually our driest month and our sunniest month. So as we have anything to look forward to, it's that April will continue to do as history has shown us.
Well, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to some sunny skies.
We hope it continues.
All right, well, thank you very much.
And the weather was great for us to be out there celebrating the Carolina victory, but there certainly wasn't any rumble in the skies. It might have been only on Franklin, though.
Most definitely, and you could definitely hear the rumble from people cheering. I'm already losing my voice, so that's how it goes.
Alrighty.
Coming up in sports, more than 45,000 people who stormed Franklin Street following the Tar Heels win Monday night know exactly how it felt to be here in Chapel Hill. But how did it feel to be in the Edward Jones Dome when the team cut down the nets? Stay tuned because we have the story about the road to St. Louis. Literally.
Who did we sing?
No, Zeke went.
Zeke?
He quit. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome.
And for your Carolina Mike. You moved your mic down.
Get moving. See what a 10% weight loss can do for you. Awaken your creativity. Do your thing at the Art School at the Art Center in Carborough.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports, continuing coverage of championship dreams becoming championship realities. Once again, I'm Ann Sexton. While Chapel Hill residents cheered the Heels on at home, a few Carolina fans actually packed their bags and followed the team to St. Louis, Reporter Zeke Smith has the story.
What does 12 hours of driving each way, plus 8 people in one hotel room, plus 1 packet of 3 shiny tickets equal out to?
Definitely the greatest weekend of my life.
While most students celebrated the Final Four from Chapel Hill, a few chose to sacrifice class, food, and sleep to follow the team to St. Louis, some arriving with nothing but a wad of cash and some hope.
I went there with no ticket at all, went with $1,000 and did my best to find cheap tickets and found a pair of tickets for $800 and sold one for $600, so I paid $200 for tickets.
The need for tickets was the theme of downtown, as thousands of fans hoped to buy a seat for the title game, only to find out they didn't come cheap.
I just saw 2 400 high 400 level tickets being offered for $1,000, which I think is outrageous.
Walking down the streets, I heard $2,000.
I haven't actually seen this with my own eyes, but I've heard rumors of $6 grand.
Most fans found the best targets were unwanted tickets left by the losers from Saturday's semifinal games.
My seats are actually, I got some from some Michigan State fans that have left, so I'm in the I-zone behind the basket.
As game time neared on Monday, downtown St. Louis became a sea of orange, and Illinois fans seemed confident about their chances. Game predictions ranged from wrong,
I think Illinois is going to win by 5.
to very wrong.
Somebody, James Augustine, I think, to step up and neutralize the front line of Carolina.
To just plain delirious.
Illinois has this walk-on guy, this Nigerian dude. He's great in the community. I think he's going to be on the floor. I think their starters are going to be on the bench smiling by the end of the game.
But the actual celebration had a Carolina theme, as the Tar Heels were the last team left dancing. Reporting from St. Louis, I'm Zeke Smith, Carolina Week Sports.
If St. Louis looked like fun, but it was too far away, next year's Final Four will be in Indianapolis, and it comes down south to Atlanta in 2007. Well, guys, I don't know if I could have handled that long drive to St. Louis, but for Zeke, definitely looked like it was worth it.
I would have loved to have been there.
Yes, well, I think the walk to Franklin Street is long enough for me.
Long enough.
Definitely.
Thank you very much, Ann.
Well, the frenzy about UNC's first national title in 12 years is taking some strange turns.
The student newspaper from Monday is a hot commodity on campus and on the web.
When you shop in Orange County, your money comes back to you.
Thank you for shopping Orange.
So shop Orange and see what a difference you can make.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Well, lots of people are trying to get their hands on copies of Tuesday's special edition of the Daily Tar Heel. Early Tuesday morning, students seeking DTHs found the bins were already empty because of high demand and the reported theft of a large number of copies. The paper printed an extra 5,000 copies to be distributed Wednesday, and students lined up to get them as early as 6:30 a.m. Though it's illegal to resell the papers, copies of the coveted issue were available on Wednesday on eBay with bids of up to $20. Well, I'm glad that I got mine without having to go through eBay.
Definitely, me too. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
We're going to leave you with one final look at all of the championship craziness surrounding the Heels winning the men's basketball championship.
Thank you very much for watching, and good night.
Good night.